Let me give you 6 rules that will guarantee that you're going to have really great huddles. The first rule is that attendance is mandatory. Everyone has to come. So it's not up to, hey, how busy am I today? How do I feel today? No, everyone has to come. And by the way, this is really easy today with technology. You can phone in from your car. If you're on a construction site, you can teleconference in using your phone. So it's so easy. So everyone has to come. Second thing is that they are never skipped. Let me share a quick story with you from Vern Harnish, who's a growth guru and an author. He tells a story of when he was meeting with a very important prospect. And he flew into town, he had a meeting with this prospect for the afternoon, and on the spur of the moment, the prospect called him and said, look, I can't do the afternoon, could we do the morning? Now there was a problem, and the problem was that that time was when he normally had his huddle with his internal team. But of course he took the appointment, and so he met the guy in the morning. He was in a real quandary. What would you do? Would you say to a prospect, sorry, I've got a huddle right now? But he thought to himself, you know, I've made the commitment. We said we would never skip them, so I'm not gonna skip it. So his prospect sat down and they talked for a minute, and then he said, you know, I'm so sorry, but I have a huddle that I need to attend because we never skip them. It'll take me 10 minutes. Could you just, have your drink here and I'll be right back? So he left the room, he phoned into his huddle, like, quick, what's your top priority? They went through all their questions, and then he came and rejoined the prospect and finished his meeting. Well, later on, that guy bought his services, and here's what he said to him. He said, you know, the reason that I signed on with you is because I thought if you could keep your commitment to your own internal team, surely you'll keep your commitments to me. So rule number 2 is you never skip the huddle. Rule number 3, you start and you end exactly on time. I'm so serious about this that I suggest that you appoint a timekeeper, someone who says, hey, the 10 minutes is up or the 12 minutes is up or whatever your huddle is going to be, and when that timekeeper calls it, you leave. Also, you start right on time. Don't wait for stragglers. If you say, we're starting our huddle at 9 o'clock or at 9:02 or whatever time you say, as soon as 9 o'clock rolls around, you start. It doesn't matter if everyone's milling around, because believe me, they'll figure it out. After a couple of times walking in late and it's already going, they'll figure it out. So start and stop right on time. Rule number 4, everyone has a chance to talk, but it's brief, okay? It's tweet-sized talks, not novel-sized talk. We want everybody to be able to contribute to the huddle. Rule number 5 is be specific. Use real names, use real situations, because there's nothing worse than doing a huddle and saying, what's your top priority for the day, or what's your roadblock? And a person says, well, you know, there's just too much work, too little time. And we think, well, why are we even here? Or I've got lots of customers to deal with today. No, be specific. So you say, you know what, I'm going out to Acme business today and I have to drop off a part. Because someone else will say, oh, you know what, hey, you should know, we just shorted Acme and they're hopping mad. So just be aware of that. Or, you know what, someone else says, hey, I have something that I need to send with you. Can I do that? You'll see that when you're specific, synergies start to happen. And it just becomes much more efficient. And finally, some of you are going to love this, some of you are going to hate this one. Rule number 6 is end with a cheer. Now, I was a camp director way back in the day of kids camps, and here's one thing I learned. If the cabin counselor thinks it's an awesome idea, then it is. If the cabin counselor thinks this is the worst idea ever, then it is. So if you're the leader, you got to buy into it if you're going to do it. But think of it this way. Imagine watching a football game and the quarterback calls everyone together and they have their huddle and they talk about the play, and then it's over and he says, well, okay, see you guys out there. Like, no, that cheer just kind of solidifies things and sends people out and gets people fired up. So I really recommend that you have a cheer, and what you'll find at the end of the cheer is if you look around that circle, immediately after the cheer, is people might think it's corny or whatever they think, but everyone is smiling. And remember, all of our meetings are designed to fire people up. We don't want people tired and depressed at the end of our meetings. We want them excited, enthusiastic about what we're doing after the meeting.